The sun rose over Varelia, casting long shadows across the glowing city. Mark felt a mixture of anticipation and exhaustion as he prepared for the final part of his mission. Yesterday, he had restored most of the central network, including the complex core. Yet there remained smaller, hidden sections of the energy system that had not yet been inspected. These sections were unpredictable and delicate. One wrong move could not only undo the work he had done, but could also endanger the city itself. He packed his tools with care, double-checking every device. His scanner, energy calibrator, and portable braces were all in perfect order. Mark knew that human ingenuity relied not just on skill, but on preparation. A mind ready for challenges was one step ahead of disaster. The Thalrian leader approached him, its luminous skin reflecting the twin sun's light. "Human, today you complete the restoration. You have impressed us greatly, but this final task is subtle. It requires precision and insight. We trust in your abilities." Mark nodded. "I'll do my best." The path ahead led him through a series of tunnels, narrower and darker than any he had seen before. Pipes twisted overhead and underfoot, forming a labyrinth of glowing conduits. Some sections hummed steadily. Others were silent, indicating energy had been cut off for years. The air was dry, but carried a faint metallic scent, and tiny vibrations echoed through the stone walls. Signaling energy moving through distant parts of the network, Mark began his inspection, moving carefully along the pipes. Unlike the larger sections he had repaired, these smaller conduits required delicate handling. Some pipes were partially corroded, others had tiny fractures that could leak energy if mishandled. He placed his hands gently on the conduits, feeling their vibrations, noting the faint warmth or coolness of each. Even small differences could indicate the type of energy flowing through them. Hours passed as Mark worked meticulously, testing each pipe, adjusting connections, and carefully laying new sections where damage had occurred. He realized that the Thalrians had overlooked these sections because they appeared insignificant. But in reality, they carried crucial energy that supported minor yet vital systems, including lighting for public areas and the underground farms. One wrong choice could have disrupted the lives of thousands the Thalrians had learned from observing. Mark, a few younger engineers followed him quietly, asking questions and taking notes. "How do you know which pipe to connect?" one asked timidly. Mark smiled. "You have to observe and trust the details. Energy leaves clues, subtle ones. If you pay attention, the answer becomes clear." As midday approached, Mark reached a junction unlike any he had seen. Several pipes converged in a tight cluster, some glowing faintly, others cold and dark. The flow of energy was inconsistent, making it difficult to determine the correct connections. He knelt and examined the conduits, using his scanner to measure vibrations, temperature, and flow. He cross-referenced every reading, comparing them to previous sections he had repaired. The Thalrians watched silently from a distance. Some were skeptical, others curious, but all were attentive. They had never witnessed anyone approach such complexity with patience and precision. Mark noticed that the younger engineers began to mimic his methods. Observing and testing rather than assuming, he selected the first pipe, connecting it carefully. Energy flowed instantly, stabilizing part of the junction. Encouraged, he moved to the next pipe, taking care to verify each reading before connecting. Hours went by in quiet concentration, broken only by occasional murmurs from the observing Thalrians and the soft hum of the conduit stopped by late afternoon. The junction was nearly complete. Only one final pipe remained, the last piece of the puzzle. Its energy signature was subtle, almost imperceptible. Mark studied it closely, feeling for vibrations, examining markings, and testing flow. He realized that this pipe, though small and unassuming, carried a critical energy that balanced the entire network. A mistake here could collapse the system. Mark took a deep breath. He reminded himself that humans excelled not because they always followed instructions, but because they could think creatively and adapt. Using careful observation and intuition, he connected the pipe. Energy surged through the network, stabilizing instantly. The entire system lit up with a soft, steady glow. Spreading across the city like a heartbeat, the Thalrians erupted in astonishment. Their eyes shone with admiration and amazement. The human had not only completed the task, but had done so with insight they had never thought possible. "You have done what we feared impossible," the Thalrian leader said, its voice filled with awe. "You have restored the network in full. You see patterns we cannot. You act where we hesitate. Your kind is remarkable." Mark smiled, feeling a quiet pride. "It's not magic. It's careful observation, testing, and thinking. That's all humans need to make a difference." The younger engineers approached, their expressions a mix of respect and curiosity. "Can we learn this method?" one asked. "Of course," Mark replied. "Observation, patience, and reasoning are skills anyone can learn. But you must practice and trust what you see." The Thalrians spent the evening studying the restored network with Mark, learning from his methods. They saw how a human mind could notice subtle patterns, adapt to unexpected challenges, and make decisions under pressure. Slowly, they began to understand why humans, though fewer in number and less technologically advanced in some ways, could achieve extraordinary results. That night, Mark walked above ground, looking at the city he had helped restore. The conduits glowed warmly, casting light across the alien architecture. The streets buzzed softly with energy, and the underground farms thrived once more. For the first time, he felt truly connected to Viralianot as a visitor. But as someone who had made a tangible impact, the Thalrian leader joined him, speaking softly. "Human, you have shown us a truth we ignored. Numbers and technology are not everything. Insight, courage, and creativity can achieve what tools alone cannot. Your presence has changed our understanding of the world and of your kind." Mark nodded. "Every species has its strengths. Humans have creativity and the ability to adapt. That can matter anywhere, even on planets far from Earth." The leader nodded thoughtfully. "You are correct. Your work here will be remembered. Your name will be honored among our engineers for generations." Mark felt a deep satisfaction, knowing that his efforts had earned respect and left a mark on an alien civilization. But he also understood something more profound. The real lesson was not just about laying pipes. It was about human ingenuity, patience, and the courage to act when others hesitate. That was the power of humanity, and it was recognized here on Virelia. The next morning, Mark prepared to leave. The energy network was fully restored, the city thriving once more. The Thalrians had learned new methods, combining their technology with the human approach of careful observation and reasoning. Mark had proved that humans could make a difference, even on distant worlds where technology alone was insufficient. As he boarded the shuttle, he looked back at Virelia one last time. The glowing city, the humming pipes, and the thriving farms were a testament to what could be achieved when courage and creativity met opportunity. Humans were few, but they were capable of extraordinary impact. Mark felt a sense of fulfillment. The task that had seemed simple at first, laying pipes, had become a challenge of perception, reasoning, and insight. And through it all, humanity had triumphed. As the shuttle lifted off, Mark glanced down at the city once more, smiling. He had gone to lay pipes, he had laid them carefully, and he had made a difference that would be remembered. It was not the pipe itself that mattered, it was the mind that chose it. And in that moment, Mark understood something universal. The strength of humans was not in numbers, size, or raw power. It was in the ability to see, think, and act when others could not. That was the true essence of being human, and it had reshaped Virelia forever. Leanne stepped cautiously through the corridors of the alien city, every footfall echoing on crystalline floors. The walls pulsed with a gentle light that shifted in color, reflecting the mood of the beings around him. He was no longer just a visitor. He was a subject of fascination. The aliens' eyes followed him, their glowing forms moving with precision and grace. Yet none approached too closely, as if they instinctively knew he could endure more than they could imagine. The leader, the tall one with the crystal chest, walked alongside him. "You are unlike anything we have ever seen," it said. "Our probes, our strongest scouts, none could withstand the energies you have endured. Your mind and body? They are extraordinary. Leanne smiled faintly. Humans have a history of surviving the impossible. You're just meeting one who's willing to show it. The leader tilted its head, the crystal pulsing. History. Your history is unknown to us. We have records of countless species, yet humans are anomalies. How can one species endure so much? Leanne shrugged. Maybe we're just stubborn. Maybe we're just made to survive. They reached a vast hall, unlike anything Leanne had seen. Towers of crystal spiraled toward the ceiling, each humming a quiet note that seemed to resonate with the beings themselves. Small, delicate creatures flitted around, carrying objects that emitted soft lights. The air was alive with energy, vibrant and almost musical. This is our council chamber, the leader explained. Here, all major decisions are made. Your endurance, your presence, it must be brought before the council. Leanne glanced around. So, I'm famous now. Or feared? The leader's crystal pulsed a warmer color. Both, and yet, your abilities inspire a mixture of awe and caution. Leanne nodded. Humans had always walked that fine line, being underestimated, yet capable of astounding feats. He knew that the key to survival here was the same as it had always been. Remain calm, show strength where others did not, and adapt quickly. They entered a circular chamber where dozens of alien figures awaited. Each one was unique. Some taller, some smaller, some almost transparent, others shimmering with internal light. They regarded Leanne silently, and the air seemed to thrum with anticipation. The leader motioned for him to stand in the center. You have already proven your resilience outside, one of the council members said. Its voice was soft, melodic, almost like a song, but the translator in his suit made it understandable. Now, we wish to understand your limits. Humans have survived what none of our species could. How is it possible? Leanne squared his shoulders. I don't know if it's special or just natural. Humans face challenges every day. Some small, some enormous. We adapt. We endure. We keep going when others would stop. Maybe that's why you see strength where others see none. The council hummed among themselves, a sound that vibrated through Leanne's chest. Their curiosity was tangible, almost like a physical force pressing at him. The leader stepped closer. You speak boldly, yet calmly. Few could maintain composure under such scrutiny. Most would falter. Humans are indeed different. Difference can be powerful, Leanne said. Underestimating it is dangerous. The chamber shimmered suddenly, and a wave of energy flowed toward him. This was no ordinary test. The energy moved with intention, probing his thoughts, seeking to understand his perception, his instincts, his very nature. Leanne felt it press against his mind, strong enough to crush most beings instantly. Yet he smiled. Humans had endured natural disasters, wars, isolation, hunger, and pain beyond measure. They had survived against odds that seemed impossible. This was nothing new. It was just another challenge. He focused, centering himself on the rhythm of his own breathing. The beat of his heart, the steady knowledge that he had faced worse and come through. The energy rippled and changed. As if it had met resistance it could not overcome. The aliens around him gasped softly, the council members exchanging glances filled with astonishment. You withstand it effortlessly, the leader said. No other being could resist the force we just unleashed. Humans are extraordinary, Leanne nodded. I told you, we endure. It's what we do. The council fell silent for a moment. Then another member stepped forward. Its skin shimmered with a pale violet glow, delicate limbs extending in a way that seemed fragile but was precise. If your species can endure this, it said, then perhaps humans could help us in ways no one else can. There is a conflict in our system. Forces we cannot contain. Your abilities might be the key. Leanne felt a surge of interest. Humans had always found purpose in challenges, often in ways no other species could. Tell me about it, he said. Maybe I can help. The violet alien's eyes brightened. We face an anomaly in the outer sector. It is a creature, vast in scale, and it consumes energy fields indiscriminately. It has destroyed civilizations that dared confront it. Our forces have failed. We cannot approach it safely, but your resilience may allow you to endure what none of our species can. Leon considered the words carefully. Humans had always faced the impossible and thrived. If the creature was as destructive as they said, his endurance might indeed be the advantage they needed. "Show me," he said. Within minutes, they guided him to a transport that hovered silently. Its form was sleek, covered in a reflective material that seemed alive with faint light. Leanne stepped aboard, noting the controls. They were unfamiliar, but intuitive, designed for beings with different anatomy, yet adaptable enough for him to learn. The journey to the outer sector was swift, moving faster than Leanne had expected. Through the viewports, he could see the planet's rings and distant moons, but his attention was fixed on the anomaly. It appeared first as a flicker of light, then as a massive shape, undulating across space. Energy waves radiated from it, distorting the surrounding stars. Even the alien ship trembled under the force. Leanne took a deep breath. "So, this is it," he said. His heart pounded, but there was a thrill in facing something that others feared. Humans had always faced monsters, real or metaphoric land, often won. The aliens directed him closer. "Do not underestimate it," the Violet being warned. "No species has survived contact with its energy field. Only you may withstand it." As they approached, the energy field surged outward. Leanne felt it brush against him, not like a wind, but like a force reaching into his body, testing every nerve, every cell, every thought. Most beings would have collapsed instantly. Most species' technology would have failed within seconds. Yet Leanne remained steady. The energy sought to overwhelm him, to break his mind. But humans had a way of enduring what others could not. He closed his eyes, breathing steadily, focusing on the simple truths that had kept humans alive for millennia. Survive, adapt, persevere. The energy hit with full force. Leanne felt the pressure against him like a tidal wave that sought to erase him from existence. Pain flared in every nerve, but he did not collapse. He did not scream. He did not falter. The human body, shaped by eons of survival on a harsh world, was extraordinary in its resilience. And the human mind, well, it refused to yield. Seconds or was it minutes? Later, the energy began to retreat. The anomaly pulsed as if it recognized that this human was unlike any being it had encountered. Leanne opened his eyes. He was alive, unharmed. The aliens aboard the ship stared at him, wide-eyed, their energy flickering with awe. "You survived it," the leader said, voice trembling. "No being has ever endured what you just faced. Humans are incredible." Leon allowed himself a small smile. "Like I said, we endure. That's what humans do." The anomaly pulsed one last time, then moved away, vanishing into the dark reaches of space. The aliens exhaled collectively, the tension in the ship easing. Leon's hands relaxed on the controls, though his mind was still racing. Humans were not just survivors. They were unpredictable, unbreakable, and capable of feats that even advanced alien civilizations could not anticipate. As the ship turned back toward the alien city, the leader approached him again. "You have changed our understanding," it said. "Not just of humans, but of resilience itself. Your endurance. It is unmatched. You are a living example of what your species is capable of." Leanne leaned back, letting the words settle. Humans had always been underestimated. On countless worlds, against countless odds, they had adapted, survived, and often triumphed. And now, in the heart of an alien civilization, he realized that this was just the beginning. "Thank you," he said simply. "But this is just one human. There are billions more, and many are even stronger in ways you cannot imagine." The aliens seemed to shiver, not with fear, but with the realization that the universe was far wider and stranger than they had ever comprehended. Humans were more than just a species. They were a force of endurance, creativity, and adaptability. And in this moment, Leanne understood that he had not just survived. He had rewritten the expectations of an entire civilization as the ship descended back into the alien city. He felt a strange sense of pride. Humans were underestimated, yes, but that underestimation was their greatest strength. Others assumed weakness, and humans turned it into advantage. And in the heart of an alien world, under scrutiny that would have crushed others, one human had endured. One human had shown what his species was truly capable of. The council awaited him, their glowing forms pulsing with anticipation. And Lian knew that the next steps would challenge him even further, but humans were never meant to be ordinary. They were meant to end Lian. The alien city stretched out below Lian as the transport touched down. The streets glimmered with light, reflecting off the crystal structures that seemed to grow from the ground itself. Beings of all sizes moved through the city, their luminous forms shifting as they watched him. He had faced the anomaly and survived, a feat no other creature could manage. The council awaited him, eager to witness what they now considered a turning point in their civilization's understanding of life itself. The leader, chest crystal pulsed warmly, approached him first. "You have survived what no other being could. The anomaly has retreated, and yet it is not gone. Its energy is still unstable. Your presence has proven humans are extraordinary." Lian stepped down from the transport and looked around. "Extraordinary or stubborn?" "Maybe a little of both," he said. The aliens hummed softly, a sound of curiosity and astonishment combined. "But if this anomaly comes back, it won't just test humans. It will threaten everything here. We need a plan." The council led him to the chamber where they strategized. Holographic images of the anomaly floated in the air, showing its massive form pulsing with energy across the outer sector. Lian studied it carefully. "It consumes energy fields," he said. "That's why your ships failed. Most species can't withstand the exposure, but humans have an advantage. Our minds can focus under pressure. Our bodies can endure far more than you expect, and our instincts help us adapt quickly." A violet-colored alien nodded. "Your species' resilience is remarkable, but the anomaly's scale is immense. Even humans might struggle if approached incorrectly." Lian smiled. "Then we'll approach it differently, not with strength alone, but with strategy, patience, and endurance." He began outlining a plan. First, they would observe the anomaly from a distance, mapping its energy patterns. Second, they would send in probes designed to withstand the initial pulse, calibrated using his guidance. Finally, he would lead a small team to interact directly, using human endurance and adaptability to manage what no alien could survive. The council listened carefully, their glowing forms shifting in excitement and disbelief. The leader stepped forward. "It is unprecedented. We would never have considered a single human capable of such leadership in a crisis of this scale. Your species may be the key to our survival." Lian nodded. "Sometimes survival depends on those who can adapt the fastest, and humans are good at that." The next day, the plan was set in motion. Probes were dispatched, transmitting real-time data as the anomaly's energy fields pulsed unpredictably. Lian guided them, his instincts finely attuned to the fluctuations that no alien mind had anticipated. The anomaly reacted to the probes, testing the limits of their endurance. Some were destroyed immediately, but others survived longer than expected, revealing patterns and weaknesses in the energy flow. Lian adjusted strategies on the fly, directing the aliens to recalibrate their instruments. "You have to understand it," he said. "It isn't just about force. It's about anticipating how it reacts, staying calm and responding faster than it can destabilize you. That's how humans survive, by staying ahead mentally and physically." Days passed in tense observation and adjustment. Lian noticed subtle changes in the aliens' behavior. They seemed to grow more cautious, their respect for him deepening. As they realized that human resilience was not lakit, was instinct, honed by evolution, experience, and determination. Finally, the moment came. The anomaly pulsed with enormous energy, moving toward a sector populated by alien habitats. Lian's team prepared. He stepped into a specially reinforced vessel designed to withstand energy exposure. But unlike the alien designs, it was adapted to human endurance. His body was shielded, but the real strength would come from his ability to withstand the mental and physical strain that no alien could endure. The ship moved toward the anomaly. the energy waves washing over it. Other species' minds would have faltered instantly under the pressure, but Lian focused, centering himself. He felt the raw force press against him, trying to destabilize his thoughts, his balance, his very essence. But he remembered the countless times humans had survived what seemed impossible: storms, accidents, wars, isolation, and hardship. The memory of survival grounded him. The anomaly surged, and Lian moved precisely as he had calculated. He used his instincts to predict the pulses, timing his maneuvers to ride through the energy flows instead of fighting them directly. Each wave struck with intensity that would have shattered alien minds and vessels, yet he emerged steady, adjusting as he went. The aliens watched in awe from a distance, recording every movement. "No being could endure this," the leader whispered, eyes wide, "and yet he does not falter. Humans, they are unlike any other." Lian finally reached a point where he could interact with the anomaly's energy directly. Using controls that allowed him to release stabilizing pulses, he synchronized with its natural rhythms. The anomaly reacted differently than expected, its energy flowing in patterns that matched the human-guided pulses. Lian smiled faintly. "It's listening. Not consciously, maybe, but it's responding." Hours passed, the anomaly gradually stabilizing under his guidance. It no longer surged uncontrollably, and its energy fields became manageable. Lian directed it to retreat to a safer sector, minimizing the risk to the alien habitats. By the time he returned to the city, the aliens were waiting, their forms pulsing with admiration and disbelief. "You have done what no other being could," the leader said. "Not through strength alone, but through patience, endurance, and intellect. Humans are extraordinary." Lian allowed himself a small smile. Sometimes the unexpected is the strongest advantage. Humans survive because we never stop adapting, never stop thinking, and never stop enduring. The council held a silent moment, processing what they had witnessed. Then, one by one, they approached him, glowing forms brushing lightly against his vessel as a sign of respect. It was not just gratitude, it was recognition of the extraordinary capacity humans had shown. Over the following days, Lian helped the aliens adapt their technology using human ingenuity. Simple adjustments, changes in timing, and approaches that no alien had considered allowed their systems to become more efficient and resilient. His presence had not only saved their civilization from the anomaly, but it also provided insight into a way of thinking that could protect them in future crises. As he walked through the alien city, beings stopped and stared, many whispering among themselves. Lian could feel their admiration and curiosity, and he realized something important. Humans were not just surviving, they were inspiring. He had become proof that endurance, adaptability, and resilience were qualities that could alter the course of an entire civilization. The leader approached him one final time before he returned to his shuttle. "You have done more than survive," it said. "You have changed the way we understand life, resilience, and intelligence. Humans are remarkable. Perhaps the galaxy has underestimated your species for too long." Lian nodded. "Maybe. But humans don't need recognition to survive. We adapt, endure, and thrive. That's what makes us human." As he stepped back onto his shuttle, preparing to return to the explored systems, he took one last look at the city. The beings there would remember him, not just as a survivor, but as an example of what humans could achieve. He had shown that survival was not enough. Humans could endure what others could not, and use that endurance to protect, to lead, and to change the world around them. The shuttle lifted off, ascending through the alien skies. Below, the city glowed softly, a reflection of the respect and awe that had been earned. Lian leaned back, allowing himself a moment of quiet satisfaction. He had faced the impossible, guided others through challenges they could not comprehend, and emerged victorious. And all along, it had been the simplest qualities that made him extraordinary: adaptability, endurance, and unyielding resolve. He smiled to himself. Humans were often underestimated, and yet time and again they proved that their resilience was unmatched. The galaxy might be vast, filled with species far stronger, faster, and more advanced than humanity. But humans had something unique. the ability to endure the impossible and turn adversity into strength. And Lian knew that wherever he went next, humans would continue to inspire, to challenge expectations, and to endure no matter the force, the danger, or the unknown waiting in the dark reaches of space. For the first time in his journey, he felt a calm certainty. The galaxy was vast, but humans were ready. They could survive, adapt, and thrive in ways no other species had imagined. And Lian, as one human among billions, had proven it. He piloted his shuttle into the stars, leaving the alien world behind, but carrying with him a legacy far greater than any mission. Objective. Proof that no creature could withstand what a human could endure. And in that truth lay hope, power, and the promise of a future shaped by the resilience of his species. The universe was wide, full of unknown challenges and unimaginable forces. But humans, with their endurance and adaptability, would face them all. Lian had shown the beginning, and the galaxy would never forget it.